Welcome in, everybody. This is episode 14 of our first season of Arsenal Fan Circle. I have with me Gundit News, Mahir, and Richard from Arsenal TV. How are we doing,
Evening,
guys?
guys.
So, Richard, we have you for 30 minutes, Richard. So, um, let's talk about the Napoli game. What do you think of the Napoli game, Richard?
Um, yeah, I was quite pleased with the result that we had. We came out of the traps pretty quickly, as I thought that we would going back to from the Everton game. I expected the players to show a bit of fight, show a bit of desire, because this is our chance to get our first European trophy in 25 years, and obviously since the Champions League in 2006. Um, But no, going on to the game, yeah, it was brilliant. Exactly what I expected from them. The players played well. They showed fight, like they always do when we play at home. But the only thing I was concerned about was Napoli's three players that stood out to me, which was Koulibaly in the central defence, um, Denise Mertens, and Insigne, one of their strikers. And yeah, it was a rough night for them. Definitely a rough night because it was an own goal from Koulibaly off of the clip from Torreira. Um, but yeah, apart from that, I think Napoli they was a bit careless. Napoli was careless in certain parts, and we dominated the game from start to finish. And I think Emery got his tactics spot on, and he picked out the right starting 11 that we needed to go with. So yeah, it was a good result, 2-0. I predicted either 3-1 or 3-0. That's really what I would have wanted. But 2-0 is good as anything. Clean sheet was most important.
2-0, we'll take that all day long. And the best thing about that is a clean sheet. And yes, I felt we would get a big reaction from that Everton game. Feel like Emery held some players back for the Napoli game. What did you think, Mahir?
Okay, I basically think that, I love seeing all the passion and the heart that we were expecting versus Everton, where there was absolutely like nothing going on. Like the players were wandering around, aimlessly giving possession away to the opposition. But in overall, there was a brilliant performance. I think could have. Only disappointing thing is we could have gone 4-5-0 up, and at that point would have made it goodbye. We would have basically been going to Naples for a holiday. Not saying that the tie is over, by no means is it over, because they can come back, as we've seen other top European teams do. It was a beautiful team goal with the Aaron Ramsey finish and the Koulibaly deflection. But I do feel, like I say, we could have gone 4-0, 5-0 up. Like I said, missing um, one opportunity, Ramsey missing the other opportunity, or both in front of goal. But I do want to see this team going forward, possibly Bernd Leno in as our keeper, not that Cheka has made any mistakes. And yeah, guys, we go into the second leg on a 2-0, and hopefully we can get an away goal and we can get into the semi-finals. Carry on.
Richard, do you think if we'd have gone 3-0 is certainly a good scoreline, but dangerous because you would probably sit back too much, Richard? What do you
Do you
think? I
know
think
what?
2-0 is finally poised that the players know they're still in a tie.
Um, do you know what? I actually think that Napoli could still be in it. They definitely can be still in the goal, especially if they score first. And do you know what? Napoli are good at home. They are good at their ground.
Hmm.
Um, and they've showed it in previous matches where they've scored goals at their ground. And I know that the atmosphere at Naples is going to be so much different to what it was over here, because their fans are going to be fully up for it. The atmosphere in the stadium is going to be horrendous. It's going to be brilliant. But I reckon Napoli are still in it, especially if they get the first goal. If they draw the blood first, and yeah, I reckon they are still in it. But if Arsenal gets that first goal, then Napoli's got to score four.
Yeah, I think
So
we have to stay concentrated. Go ahead, Richard.
yeah, I think that the players they just need to they need to stay focused, um, and just take it a minute at a time. And then as soon as they get to 45 minutes, do what you've got to do in the dressing room, and then get your mind back on it, and then hopefully go and play up until that final whistle. Because listen, this match is not over not until that final whistle
No.
goes. We're only halfway through. We're only halfway through the match at the minute, and but I think over the two legs we can beat Napoli.
We've scored away from home. We score away from home in the Premier League against Manchester City, against Liverpool, against United, against Tottenham. So we are capable of
Of course,
getting the goal. And in
of
90
course,
minutes.
100%. We are capable of doing it, but at the end of the day, we've got it in us to go and do what we've done at Everton.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really hoping Everton was an anomaly in terms of injuries and the play, but there was no fight in the players. That's for sure.
Nah.
Last Sunday, but I also think that Naples Stadium is very much like going to Turkey with the atmosphere that you're going to have out there. It's
Yeah.
going to be pretty dangerous and raucous.
Right, do you know what? Let's put it this way, right? It's very Arsenal to go and beat Watford and then go and draw against Napoli in that second leg.
Yeah, we'll take that all day long.
Yeah, but then also it's very Arsenal to go and beat Napoli and then go and lose our next Premier League game.
Yeah.
So, but I think this is something that Emery needs to get right, and I reckon that these players will eventually. I just don't see why can't our home form be the same as away? Why can't it be the same? What are they doing at home that they're not doing away from home?
I think in the end it comes. Go ahead, Gundit.
I would love them to show the same amount of passion and heart that we put into our home record being like it's like a fortress. Emirates is like a fortress to us, and I just wish they'd show it right around away from home all the time, basically.
It's down to I'm going to put it out there. It's down to the character of certain players. The whole team does not have a winning mentality. Playing away from home. When you're at home and you got the supporters in your ears and they're supporting everything you're doing, but then you go away from home and you're hearing, especially a hostile environment like Goodison Park, you're hearing negativity in your ears the whole time. What do you think about that, Richard?
I think it's down to the mentality of the players. But to be honest, the mentality when they're playing at home, it should be exactly the same away from home. It should be no different.
Yeah.
It should be no different at all. It doesn't matter if you're getting like abuse from their fans. At the end of the day, focus on you. Focus on your team. Don't focus on them. Focus on your team. So you need to play like you do at home, away from home. It's that simple. That's what they need to do. And I think it is down to mentality. It is down to mentality.
Yeah, Highland and Old School, thanks for coming in the chats. And we're talking about the mentality of the players away from home and that Everton result right now. What do you think, Gundit, on a final point about Everton? Matt here, can I ask you this? Can I ask you this question? What is our level? Is it the Everton game away from home, or is it the Napoli game playing at home, or is it somewhere in between?
Somewhere in between, because you do know most of the players on the pitch. They show them, they give the all, and at times you could also put it to burnout. Like we've seen the lack of Torreira when we haven't had him in the squad, and for maybe I would say the past maybe 2 months or month and a half, where he's kind of dropped off in his intensity. But you could put that to burnout as well. But like I say, I wanted to ask you guys as well. Do you think it's we were just that good, or is it also that Napoli were really poor? Because I noticed during the game, they kept giving us the ball back during a lot of the times. You think they're dangerous players, such as the likes of Insigne, missing a few open goal chances. Yeah, man, they just kept giving the ball to us. So were we really that good, or was it just down to the fact that they also had an off day?
Richard, you can take that. We just talked about that a little bit before we came on, Richard.
Yeah, I just thought that Napoli were a bit careless, to be quite honest, with certain situations. As Gundit News just said, that they gave the ball to us so many times. They scuffed shots. They skied them over the bar. But apart from that, I think that we were the better side on that night. We were the better side. Our possessional play was better. Our interceptions was good, especially from Lucas Torreira and the partnership that was in that midfield. I think Ramsey, he was the one that was pulling the strings, I think, as well, and so was Mesut Ozil. Those two was definitely pulling the strings in that midfield alongside Torreira, helping the back line. But yeah, I just think that Napoli were just careless, and I think they just was just on a poor day. But let's see what happens when we go to Napoli on Thursday. Let's just see what happens. But I reckon I'm confident that we can beat them.
Yeah, I think the pace of Serie A is a lot slower. So you have an Italian team coming to England or in London, and they're not able to deal with the pace of the Premier League and those players. And we might have a similar adaptation that we might need to adapt when we go to Naples, to adapt to the pace of the game that they're going to probably dictate. And,
right, you know what? You knocked the nail on the head right there. What it was, it's that the Napoli, they couldn't handle the intensity and the style of play to what we was playing, our quick 1-2 football. They're not used to that, because over in Italy, it's more of a slow-paced movement. And I think, and that's no disrespect to Carlo Ancelotti, because Carlo Ancelotti is a great manager. Mm-hmm. I know he's won so many Champions Leagues in his career, but I think it's down to the players. They just couldn't keep up with us, and they were careless.
Yeah, hats off to Emery for winning a tactical game versus a very good coach as well in Ancelotti. London Old School said Napoli away will be a much different game, Gundit, and he thought that the pace of the game did shock Napoli. We played some lovely, quick one-touch passing, two-touch passing. Really surprised Napoli and got on top of them.
Do you know what? I think even if we go away, even when we go away to Napoli, I don't think we're going to change our style of play just to please them. We are still going to play our quick 1-2 football like we normally do, but I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up with us.
Yeah, and I've written out two lineups, both for Watford and for Napoli, that we're going to get into now, and we'll touch on the Napoli return leg. Let's close out the first leg. A great result. Clean sheet was important, and we go forward to Thursday night. Right, Gundit?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Looking very forward to seeing what's going to happen on Thursday night. If we keep our eyes on the prize, I mean, imagine our first European Cup in so many years. Like
this is going to be a huge hurdle if we can get past Napoli. Mind you, we're going to have a difficult game probably in Spain, Richard, and maybe Chelsea in the final.
I think against Valencia will be tough because they play the same similar style of play to us over in Spain, which is a quick 1-2 football, especially like the likes of Barcelona. So I think that's going to be a lot tougher to what this one was. Playing against Chelsea in the final, I'd be up for that, to be honest. Going over to Azerbaijan, and I think that would be awesome.
I agree with you, but I think Chelsea will be dangerous. London Old School said Napoli away will be a much different game, and we'll touch on that London Old School in about 15 minutes because we want to get Richard out of here within the next 18 minutes. But I want to move forward to the Watford game away from home, and I put out two team sheets, Richard. If you want to take a look at that. For Watford away from home and for Napoli away from home. Can everyone see that? So
Yeah.
this is two teams that can be competitive, but with minimal, with a lot of squad rotation, and still be strong teams. So you see, for Monday, I've got Leno in there. The only four players who will probably have to play both games will be Koscielny, Monreal, Xhaka, and Torreira. And I put out a post. I posted something yesterday about confidence levels, and but what's your feeling about Watford away from home, Richard?
Well, you think about it. Watford are tenth in the Premier League right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking to get European football next season. I don't know. It depends on how the team's going to turn up.
Let me give you a stat which is a little bit shocking, but some of it is down to our misfortune away from home. We've not beaten a team away from home placed 10th or above.
Yeah.
And we were unlucky not to beat Chelsea way back at the start of the season. We were unlucky not to beat Manchester United at Old Trafford, and we were definitely unlucky not to beat Tottenham at Wembley.
Yeah, that's true.
The fact remains, now we've played the top 6 teams away from home. Now we have to play, let's say, the next 4, which there's a nice bundle of teams in there: Leicester City, Watford, Wolverhampton, and Burnley, who are surging a little bit up the league now. Well, what's your confidence level about getting a win away from home at Watford?
If we're going back, if they're doing the same performance like they done against Napoli, then I would say that I'm confident. But if you're looking at the result that we had against Everton, then I would say I'm not confident. But I would probably take a 2-1 win for us, to be honest.
Yeah. We were confident when we beat Newcastle at home. And then we were confident going into the Everton game. So we have similar circumstances. We just beat Napoli at home, and now we're going to Watford away from home. We have to answer those question marks.
Yeah, I mean, our away form needs to improve, and I think Emery will improve that in time. And I think that Arsenal does need to start thinking of extending his contract to even longer, because I think if he wins us the Europa League this season and gets us into Champions League next season, then I think he's overachieved, and I think he deserves a manager of the season, because Unai Emery's had to deal with so many problems, and he's had to deal with a team that was under Arsene Wenger at the time, and it's none of his own players. Out of all the players that he's brought out of the 5, which were Socrates, Leno, Guendouzi, Torreira, Lichtsteiner, and obviously Denis Suarez coming in, the only player that you can say that has played under him is Denis Suarez. But I feel that having Denis Suarez on the loan has been a waste of time. Because Emery said in his press conference ages ago, said that Denis Suarez was ready to play. But then again, when we go and look at the starting 11, he's not there.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
I have a theory about that, and I think that Emery is a pragmatic coach, as we all know, and he's trying to get results and points. He cannot risk Suarez at the end of the season here. The same way he can't risk younger players that are now out on loan. They're out on loan, you know. But Gundit News, I've got a comment from London Old School. Napoli away will be a much different game. And he also would not play Ozil at Watford, but he would play him at Napoli, which I agree with. I think we're all in agreement there. What do you think, Gundit?
I would amongst these things if he's going to prioritize like we did. I think maybe that's what he tried to do right now. Like that's why we maybe got the result at versus Napoli, because I think maybe he saved the likes of the stronger players for the Napoli game. And if he does, I think he'll probably try and do the same thing. Although we pray he doesn't put Guendouzi and Al-Neni again in the middle. I do not want to see these guys anywhere near our first team, anywhere near the starting lineup. Maybe when we hit 3-0, would be fine. But I mean, the likes of Torreira and Xhaka should be here at all times.
I definitely understand what you're saying about El-Neni. He's a closer. You can bring him in late in the game to tie something up. But I think Guendouzi has not really done anything wrong, and I would pick him versus Watford.
Yes, if you put him like the leader, I'm sure he should really agree with me when we say we need a leader.
Yeah.
If you put in somebody like Guendouzi there, you put Xhaka next to him, or you put Torreira next to him, or you need somebody. You need somebody that's going to cover his back as well, because I'm sure you've realized also Guendouzi seems to be running more at the opposition and wanting to be more like a attacking midfielder rather than doing a lot of the defensive work which Torreira does.
I think Guendouzi's still very raw. That we don't really know what role he's going to play in midfield yet, and that's to be defined probably next season. I think he's done very well this year. Who would have Richard? Would you have imagined Guendouzi starting against the champions in the first game of the season and acquitting himself quite well?
No, I would not have imagined that. I didn't know about Guendouzi at all, really, until I saw him play against Man City, and he actually done pretty well, to be quite honest. Done more than what I expected, but we need to realise that he's still young and he's going to make mistakes that a lot of the older players would not make, and I think that is something that he needs to work on alongside the other players. Guendouzi is the type of player that likes to burst forward and likes to drive forward from that midfield. He reminds me of like Granit Xhaka, but then again, Granit Xhaka likes to switch the play. He likes to switch it, whereas Torreira kind of likes to sit back and try and help so basically try and be that extra man for the defense.
In front of the defense, yeah.
Yeah, because I've noticed when Torreira plays alongside Xhaka has that more freedom to be joined up with the build-up play. But when you've got El-Neni and then you've got Guendouzi, the balance is just not right at all. And I think that's what Emery got wrong. I reckon El-Neni will be out the door at the summer. That's what I think. He'll be gone anyway. And that's what frustrates me with El-Neni. It's like when we're playing, he done exactly the same against Cardiff at home as well this season. He just kept passing the ball sideways, backwards. You're thinking, hold on a minute, especially against Everton. You're thinking, hold on a minute, we're trying to chase for a goal here, and then what you're doing is that you're passing it backwards to the goalkeeper or passing it to the side.
Yeah, but Richard, can I ask you this question? That players, their DNA does not change. The coach needs to put the players in that is going to do something different. And El-Neni has never been that kind of player. But
no,
I think
I think you got to realise Arsene Wenger managed this team for 20 odd years, and there is still the old habits in there under Wenger, and that's not going to be easy to get rid of. But I think in time, Emery will soon get this team playing, which he has done this season. But it's consistency. But our main problem is we need to sort out our defense, and we need to sort out that away form.
I think that away form, personally, my thinking is that it's a mentality. It's within the character of each player. And when we phase out 2 or 3 more players this year, we need to target some players who have that mentality that can win away from home, and we'll see different results.
Yeah, who basically has passion to play for the badge, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not being good enough. Like for example, Elneny has never been good enough. He was a funny guy. Almost
Yeah.
reminds me of the likes of Kim Kallstrom a few years.
Kim Kallstrom was another one. Yeah.
And Mustafi, I mean, we wasted basically 35 million on Mustafi thinking he was going to be that vital piece that we need, the missing piece of the puzzle in our defense.
Yeah.
And he's another one I see also leaving at the end of the season. So like Elneny, Mustafi, Danny Welbeck, I personally wouldn't give another year to because I mean injuries have played him, and like I say, they've all been rejects from other teams. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been playing for us. Really, they've never been good enough.
Would you guys be okay with a Watford midfield at 3 with Guendouzi, Xhaka, and Torreira for Watford away from home?
No.
No, I would like to rest Ramsey. I don't think we're going to get Ramsey into midfield. What would you do different, Richard?
I'd actually play with a 2.
You play with a pivot?
I would play with a 4-2-3-1, to be quite honest, against Watford. I would actually have Torreira and Xhaka, and then I would have Ramsey in the number 10, to be quite honest.
Do you think Ramsey can get through another game so close to Thursday?
Yeah, I think he can. I think Ozil will be the key to the Napoli game. And I don't think that Emery needs to risk playing Ozil. Maybe bring Ozil on against Watford in the last 15, 20 minutes of the game. If we are currently still trying to chase for a game, then yeah, by all means bring Ozil on. But with Ozil, he goes into areas where he can open the defence up and create those chances, as well as if you looked at the Everton game, he had to drop deep the majority of the time against Everton because he wasn't being serviced the ball from Guendouzi or from Elneny.
No.
So a lot of the time against Everton, Ozil was dropping back. He was dropping deep and not in his actual position where he normally is. But when you've got the likes of Xhaka and you've got the likes of Torreira, Ozil, he knows that he's going to retrieve the ball. He knows he's going to get it. So he doesn't have to come as deep as to what he had to against Everton.
Ozil needs a midfield and a defence that's built up in front of him so he can do his best work.
Yeah, and I think I will have said against Everton, why don't we go with 3 at the back? But then I realised Socrates is suspended for the next 2 Premier League games.
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm saying. When I done my preview for it, I was thinking, I wouldn't risk Socrates because I knew that he was going to be on that. I knew he was 1 yellow card away from suspension. So, when I looked at the team sheet against Everton, I saw Socrates. I thought, Emery, you're playing a death wish here because we might need him against like Crystal Palace or a team like that because Crystal Palace haven't been doing too bad this season. Yeah. And they drew against us at the start of the season. So Socrates is going to be a massive miss for us as well.
And Mahir, that brings Mustafi into the next 2 league games, Watford and Crystal Palace.
Yeah, but I wouldn't play him against Napoli.
No. What do you think, Gundit? He won't play against Napoli because Socrates will be back for that game, but we will have a Mustafi at Watford and we will have a Mustafi at the Emirates next week.
I don't really agree with that. I don't know. Maybe we should play with the likes of back 3. Maybe Monreal, Kolasinac, and who's the other one? And Ainsley at the back as the 3. Because I wouldn't personally trust Mustafi to do anything.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't trust him at all.
You can't ask Ainsley. You can't ask Ainsley Maitland-Niles to play centre back, right?
No.
I mean, play him on the right hand side of the back 3.
Yeah, but what would be your back 3? Mustafi has to come in there somewhere.
Do you know what? If I was going to go with a back 3, I'd probably go with Laurent Koscielny, Monreal, and I'd probably go with Mavropanos. if I had that choice.
Yeah, but he has never played Mavropanos. He's not going to play him this. I'm not making a case for Mustafi. I'm just saying we're so short of bodies here that he's going to have to get a game somewhere. I am not saying Mustafi should be in the team. And London Old School said Mustafi is a liability whoever we play against.
Yeah, he's not wrong, Ray. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I know, but we can't play we can't play like one centre back. We have to admit that Mustafi will find his way into the team somewhere in the next two games.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I have him out in Watford. I have him tomorrow. I'm thinking a little bit like Emery. I'm not thinking like Ray. Richard, I know you want to get out of here. I'll give you your last word to summarize what you think about Watford and Napoli, and then we'll go on with Gundit and London Old School to finish out the show.
Well, I would like for us to get a win against Watford, but I just can't see it, to be honest.
What's your confidence level? What percentage do you think you're confident of getting a win? Not a draw, a win.
I'm 50-50.
Okay.
It's only simply because of our away form away from home this season. Yeah. But if it was at home, then I'd be 100% we're going to win the game. But the only thing is, you got to realise I don't know what sort of team Watford's going to play because they've got FA Cup final to think of as well against Man City. So are they going to have the likes of Kabul in that central midfield? They might. But I reckon that Watford will probably might still go all out. I know Troy Deeney, he's up for this game. He always is when it comes to us. He's always up for it.
I think he knows some of the AFTV guys. I think he knows.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'm 50-50 about tomorrow's game. I am actually 50-50, but I'll take a 2-1 win.
Let me leave you with one last question, Richard, before you go. What does it say? What does it say about the mentality of our players if they down tools tomorrow and put all their eggs in the Europa League basket?
Then, to be honest, by all means, if they do that, then by all means. If Emery is thinking, look, it's going to be tough to get into that Champions League spot in the Premier League, let's just focus on Europa League, then I would be all for that, because at the end of the day, we're going to get Champions League by the end of that tournament for the next season. Plus, we'll be ending up in UEFA Super Cup during the start of the season because we win the Europa League. Yeah. And then we win our first European trophy in 25 years. So if Emery...
We better not be playing Tottenham in the Super League.
Oh my God, please no. But yeah, if Emery's saying that, look, let's just focus on Europa League, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, so like we say in every away fixture, our team lineup tomorrow will be scrutinized to the nth degree.
Yeah, well, my preview will be out tonight for that, so I'm not giving out my lineup just yet.
Don't tip your hat yet or show your hand yet. We will look forward to check out Arsenal TV. Check out Richard for his content later. He's going to drop a video about the. So London Old School, too much of a gamble to rely on winning Europa. We need to concentrate on top four. And a lot will be decided tomorrow of what way Emery goes. But I will let you get out of here, Richard. Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome, Ray. Always a pleasure.
I will see you again, Richard. Thanks.
You too. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. All right, Gundit News. What do you think? Hey, that was great to have Richard on. Let me give you my predicted team for Watford away tomorrow. And London Old School and Gundit, let me know what you think. I would go with a 4-3-3, and this is with squad rotation in mind. Leno is our Premier League goalkeeper, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Mustafi, Koscielny, and Monreal. Guendouzi, Xhaka, and Torreira, the three in midfield, and I play Mkhitaryan with Iwobi and Aubameyang up top.
You want to
Yeah,
That's perfect. I will go with exactly that same lineup. Exactly to the T.
it's not going to be the strongest lineup that maybe we could put out there. If you're going strong, you would put Ramsey in there, right? And
Yeah.
you would probably find a place for Lacazette to play with Aubameyang as well, because it seems to me that we have a new Fab Four for Arsenal, and the Fab Four this season is Ramsey, Ozil, Lacazette, and Aubameyang.
Yes.
So
Matter of fact, in all the games that the four of them have started together, we have not lost. I think
mhm.
it's been six, and we've won five and drawn one, or won all six, if I'm not mistaken.
we have
One
won
of those
all we've won all six of the games that those Fab Four have played together. London Old School, thanks for coming on. We always appreciate you coming in. London Old School, I agree. Apart from Aubameyang, I would start Lacazette at Watford, who's gonna. I,
Lacazette is more of a physical presence. He's more of a bully.
yeah,
I'm sure you've noticed that Aubameyang is the one where, say for instance, you've tired out the team, and it comes to the last 20 or 30 minutes, and you're in desperate need of a goal.
yeah.
You could bring somebody on like him with the pace that he has and the skill that he has.
Let me ask you a question, here in London Old School. It seems to me at the start of the season, Aubameyang was a very, very important player for us, but through the course of the season, I would flip that now. It seems Lacazette is more important than Aubameyang.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that as well because we've been watching other podcasts and Arsenal fan AFTV, and a lot of people have been mentioning actually how Lacazette has become more of a how they if by any means we were to like sell a striker, that Aubameyang would be more likely of the two to go because Lacazette would be the more important. How would you say he's a poacher, he's a physical presence, he's a bully. He's got more of an important role within our team over the last few months. Even though Aubameyang is competing for Golden Boot with all of his goals that he has. And amongst the two of them, I think they've contributed to 50 goals, 40 goals.
Yeah, but between the two of them, they've scored the lion's share of goals. London Old School does agree with that point as well. This has been a breakout season for. Yeah, this has been a breakout season for Lacazette. He's really stepped up this season, and I think he's a player that can score big goals against big opposition as well. He turns up in the big games.
But that's just the thing. We are quite pleased. We are very pleased to have two world-class strikers that we can call upon at any time when we need them, and who always show the heart. You know, there's just a certain amount of pride that you need to have to be wearing the badge that is the Arsenal badge, the cannon, near to your heart. Because there's so many people that, you know, when you step on the field that you don't want to let down. I mean, especially the people that have been supporting the club since day one, you know?
Yeah, I really he did score a great goal versus Newcastle. London Old School said. Yeah, that was a wonderful goal. Wonderful goal. The where he lobbed it over the keeper as he was advancing. Great combination between the two strikers as well, which we haven't seen really a great combination too much this year with them, because we don't have out and out wingers. You know, I think if we had a winger like a Raheem Sterling, we could see more and more out of Aubameyang and Lacazette.
Can you imagine how many goals would be scored with that extra little bit of creativity? I mean, an out and out winger, bombing down that wing, and giving some deadly crosses for our strikers who we know are real poachers, you know, like they don't even need to get a goal. And
So tomorrow is going to be very important when we see that team sheet. I usually have been saying recently, don't freak out because Emery knows what he's doing, and we've seen that at Wembley and other games where we needed to win big games like Manchester United. But I think that the internet and the Arsenal support will go into overload tomorrow when we see that team sheet.
Yeah, we're not waiting for it. We want the team sheet to be seen right now so we can see into the future whether or not what's going to happen, you know. But
Yeah.
we'll just have to see. I don't know if we should play with a midfield pairing of three or if that's going to be a bit too much. Whether we should just go with two, like a Xhaka and Torreira combo, or Xhaka and Windowsi.
Well, he from my lineup, he may sacrifice Guendouzi and put Ozil in there. You know, although that is, I don't think we're going to see Ozil away from home again this season, especially in the league.
I mean, we know now how Emery thinks and more or less what substitutions he'll make, and he doesn't seem to. I mean, even we don't seem to want to trust Ozil with the form that he's been in this season away from home, in that role away from home. Especially against a side like Watford, we do know the likes of Troy Deeney, Decore, Pereira, very physical players.
Let me ask you a question, Mahir. Tomorrow, you see the lineup and El Nani's in the team. What's your first thoughts?
I start making my coffin ready for the beginning of the game, and that's where I shall watch it as people bury me alive.
Yeah, because London Old School said the internet will go into overdrive if he starts El Nani.
Started. I mean, geez, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay if we go strong with tomorrow's. I really do want to catch Tottenham. It irritates me that they have finished above us for the last two seasons. We're 4 points behind Tottenham. We have seen Chelsea not performing very well, and we've seen Manchester United so lucky yesterday. Those two penalties. What the hell was that?
How on earth did they get so lucky? How on earth did they get so lucky? They keep getting so lucky. You know, Ray, I wanted to tell you and all our subscribers something. You know, the thing that's been so disappointing and heartbreaking for me is that we basically threw an 11-point gap between us and the likes of like United and Chelsea because they were behind us at a stage not too long ago.
Yeah.
They were like 11, we had an 11-point gap, which if then we had capitalized on playing like Southampton and another small team, I think we lost to West Ham if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, listen, we drew with Wolverhampton Wanderers, we at home, and then we lost games like Southampton. We drew away to Brighton. We lost at Liverpool. We lost at Manchester City, and we lost at West Ham.
Okay, aside from the big games, what I'm saying is, you know that gap almost creates a little bit of a comfortable leading up to the ranking. So say, for example, by now, I know it's over and done with, but I'm saying, for example, by now, we could have been that little bit extra ahead of other teams, such as the Scumbags, Banter FC, you know, those that club that has a picture of a cock on a ball. Him in the new toilet bowl stadium, yeah.
Have you seen when the sun shines at that stadium, the shadow on the pitch? It looks like a different kind of cockerel. It looks like this the cockerel makes a cockerel on the pitch.
Like we got nothing bad to ever say about this team. Oh, this stadium is so fantastic. And, oh, they title contenders, but you know, yeah, they paid it no attention.
They were title contenders for exactly 20 seconds.
Yeah, for 20 seconds. Oh, my goodness.
All the pundits are.
People talk about that team.
All the pundits are big. They big up Tottenham and they big up Liverpool. You know, all these ex.
But you know, certain teams are fine to beat up. Especially when they're doing well. I'm not talking about the likes of Tottenham. I'm talking about the likes of Liverpool and City. Let the two of them, now they're going to fight out. This is going to be an exciting title race. And for top four, I mean, I think it's 4 teams separated by like 3 points or 4 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, if Tottenham are 4 points ahead of us, so there's 4 points separating the 4 teams, and Chelsea have difficult path. Manchester United, if they keep playing like that, there's not enough referees in the Premier League that can save them from the 5th or 6th place. So I really think it's between us and Tottenham, and I would love to see Tottenham drop out of the top 4, but I think we're chasing them for 3rd and 4th.
Exactly. These are the 2 places. But I believe in Emery, man. I really, honestly, I would love now, especially when the summer up comes, the new transfer window, that we go out there and totally sort out our defense. And midfield, I think, is 2 positions we're missing. And I don't know, maybe get a second goalkeeper and a 3rd striker.
Emi Martinez is doing really, really well with his loan club. We need a centre back for sure, or maybe we need a midfielder or a winger. But we have plenty of time to talk about that in the intervening when the season goes dead in the summertime. We've got plenty of time to talk about all the transfer speculation that's going to swirl around. London says if we win tomorrow, we are still in the fight. Tomorrow is a must-win game, right, London? What do you think, Gundit?
Most definitely.
If we don't get a win tomorrow, it's looking we won't get 3rd place. Let's say that much.
Because we can't afford any slip-ups.
Yeah.
We can't even afford a draw tomorrow versus Watford, to be honest with you.
Remember we did our points predictions a few weeks back? And I had every team on 76 points. I still feel like we're going to finish around 76 points, which means I'm thinking we can drop 5 points. That's 1 loss and 1 draw in 6 games. Sound okay to you?
Sure. It sounds okay to me. I just would like to see us continue. I would love to just see us go out of bed if you get my drift.
Yeah.
Like all wins, all W's all day long, and no L's, no D's. I would just love us to go into this rally and just give it a all. I mean, we've got 2 ways to get into the Champions League. We can put all our eggs in one, or we can put our eggs in both and just fight.
They're professional footballers. I think we put a strong team out. We try to win tomorrow, and like Richard had said earlier in the show, we don't have to beat Napoli. We do not have to beat Napoli. Now we have to have a mentality that we're not going to lie down like a Rennes game and things go against us and we lose. That 1-0 or dare I say 2-0 or worse. We can't do that. That can't happen. But we're going to know what Emery's going to do. We're going to know what Emery's priorities are by tomorrow when the lineup is announced. And
look, there's 2 ways of normally going into a situation. You can go out with all out firepower, and then when the job is done, taking them off nice and early, and basically putting somebody like El Neni there, like you said, he's just the stopgap, basically.
Yeah.
The closer.
No.
I love that you mentioned closer.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what it is. and
you make
then
a
save everybody. I mean, for Thursday.
you make a very good point because we can't go and approach the game like we did at Goodison Park. We'll get killed. We have to go. We have players who can hurt the opposition. We have to play strikers. We have to play forward thinking players. Get the win. Go home with 3 points, and we're breathing down the necks of Tottenham again.
Yeah, I mean, that thing that we were mentioning earlier, the main four, Oberlacher,
Ozil,
Ozil, and
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Yeah, the Welshman.
I mean, I would love for the four of them to, do that. And then, I mean, okay, you can start Mkhitaryan and Iwobi, the likes of them, and
Yeah.
I mean, put the rest of the firepower on the bench. But wouldn't it be better to go all out, get the goals, take them off, get the goals nice and early, and get them off and rest, and then bring on fresh legs?
Do you know what, Mahir? That's what he did That's what he did for the Napoli game. He went for it.
Yes, that's exactly
The
what
bench,
he did for the Napoli
the
game.
bench was not strong for the Napoli game. We went out there. We got 2 goals in the first half. Could have gotten more. Should have gotten more. But we got 2 goals. We got the W, and we did it with a strong team from the start. So maybe he's changed his mentality from the Everton game that way.
I hope he saw that because, I mean, personally, as a coach, I would do that. I would say, oh, okay, depends on what the situation is. Okay, so do I race players for the main match versus Napoli first leg or second leg, and then go with a slightly weakened side, or do I go all out firepower and just let them get the goals in nice and early, bring them off? Then that's job done. That's one less thing to worry about.
Yeah. Some of the comments from London Old School, he wants to know if I will go and watch Arsenal in the US tour. I'm strongly thinking about that for the Real Madrid game, London Old School. Strongly thinking about it. It's about a 3-4 hour drive away down there, but I'm strongly considering doing that. And then London Old School said for him the number of points is 78. So that would be 15 points. That's 5 wins essentially from the 6 games. And then finally he says he agrees with our strongest team every game from now on. I agree with you. So, that's Watford. Let's draw a line under Watford. We can get out of here under probably an hour, a little over an hour today. And let's address the Napoli game away from home. And the team, let me just give you the team that I have in mind. A 3-5-2. Czech will be the Europa League goalkeeper, which we can talk about in a while. Socrates will be back. Koscielny and Monreal at the back, 3 at the back. Ainsley, Maitland-Niles with Kolasinac. I get Koscielny and Kolasinac confused a lot. 3 in the middle with Xhaka, Ramsey, and Torreira, and then Ozil and Laka. And I'm picking that team so we can hold on to the ball out in Italy. What do you think about that, Gundit?
Okay, I like that. I'm just wondering about the two up front. Are you talking about Ozil and Laka?
Ozil and Laka, probably the 2 up front, but it could be like a number 10 in front of the lone striker, behind the lone striker.
Oh, okay. I would actually go with exactly that. Basically all our firepower from the get-go, like we're talking about.
Yeah.
Get the goal, maybe get an away goal. We just need one away goal, to be honest with you. Just one.
Yeah,
and then basically, I don't know if we should sit. I don't know.
Just, you're right. Just one goal. Did we get a goal in Rennes away from home? No, we did. We got that early goal from Iwobi, but we didn't score at Bate. Now I know that's a few weeks back, but that's our history in the Europa League away from home. But I've picked a team that is a very experienced team and a team that can hold on to the ball, which we're going to have to do at Naples. It's going to be all about possession. I don't see a lot of attacking going on. So Ozil and Lacazette Ramsey and Torreira and Xhaka. Players that can hold the ball. I'm not interested in Iwobi or Mkhitaryan, who are frustrating players away from home.
Especially when you travel to these bigger sides in Europe, such as the likes of like a Napoli, Juventus, etc., etc. So if we can just stay strong mentally, and basically we need to control the game from the midfield.
Yeah, London also said there will be a volatile atmosphere. He would also start the Fab Four, as we're calling them now. So that's a good shout, you know. But listen, here's the mentality. You know what would we be talking about right now if we had a 2-0 deficit and we were getting a team back at the Emirates? We would be talking about a hostile atmosphere, getting the stadium rocking, and getting a really really good start. So, you know, we're not professional footballers, but they should know what they're going to be faced with in the first 15, 20 minutes of that game on Thursday.
They should know. They should know that Napoli are also going to go all guns blazing. Excuse the pun.
Yeah, all guns blazing.
All guns blazing basically because that's their home. They came and they had no luck at our home because we made it as secure as possible, despite us being able to score more goals, which we didn't take advantage of. But we just need to be very strong mentally, and we need to control the game, whether that be from the midfield and not making any stupid errors, as we do know. If you're going to put the likes of a certain somebody there at the back, it looks bad from the get-go, you know.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. London also said we could have done with a third goal. We would all have taken the third goal. But I coined this phrase earlier in the week. It's called we have a wake up cushion. A 2-0 lead is a very good lead, but it's also famously called a dangerous lead. So it's called a wake up cushion because if we do concede the first goal, the team needs to wake
I
up.
love that. I love that you quotation is that way, a wake up cushion. Because basically sometimes you get too comfortable. So say for instance we had scored a third goal, we would have been like, okay, it's dead and buried. So we don't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
And then if a team comes at you with the players, you know, like these Mertens, Lorenzo, they can come at you, and before you know it, we've seen quite a few dramatic comebacks in the past season and a half, say 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, PSG being beaten, Real Madrid being beaten, when Barcelona beat PSG, I'm sure you remember that memorable comeback. Yeah. Nobody can forget about that one.
I don't think Emery will ever forget that one.
I think that is one of the best comebacks I've ever seen. Ever.
We have to guard. We have to be vigilant for that not to happen to us. London Old School has been to Naples before to see the city, and the city is intimidating in of itself. Yeah, but I understand it's an old stadium. It's crumbling. Not a very pretty stadium. The home fans are very, very intimidating, and it's going to be a very difficult atmosphere, and it's going to give us more clues about the mentality of this team.
Exactly. Are we going to let them get into our heads? I would not think so. I don't think so. I pray that we don't let them get into our heads. Because, as you guys do know, I mean, Marino Full City is being to Naples.
Yeah.
They have groups called the Ultras.
That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It will be so hostile.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want to intimidate
our supporters.
Into making mistakes. Yes, into making mistakes.
Right.
And the minute that happens, we can drop our heads and 2-3 goals can go past us, and we can I mean, we can end up losing basically, and having one less way to get into Champions League.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult. Man, I had a great point in my head, but I just blanked. Fill in the airwaves for me, Gundit. Say something while I try to recoup what I was saying.
No worries. Ray will recoup. Ray, I know you will recoup their thought. I was basically thinking, okay, with the same lineup as Ray, and I'd like to hear what your guys' thoughts are and what your score predictions. Because personally, I would love to get a 2-0 or 2-1 win over Napoli at their stadium in Naples. And I believe this can be done. I mean, if they just have the right mentality going into this, as we discussed, because you're going to let them get into our heads. I'm sure you've seen the opportunities that these strikers did miss out on, and we at one point we did the win though, but we did also get a little bit of luck in our way because
I did remember what I was going to say. It was a very good point. And when you have something right there and then you lose it, it's frustrating. Listen, this a good friend of the show, James Rowe, he likened this tie to the Atletico Madrid from last year, and it is very similar. The only difference, the big difference is we have 2 goals and the clean sheet to take to Naples, which we did not have to take to Madrid. So what do you think of that?
Oh, that's a fantastic point. Oh,
yeah.
If I just think about how disappointed I was
and
this time last year.
Atletico was so. I did not see that game. Did you watch that second leg of the semi-final last year?
I watched the first leg, and to be honest with you, why we were so heartbroken because in the first leg we had the same kind of. That's why I say it's a brilliant point that you brought up because it happened exactly like this in the opposite direction. We could have scored 4 goals, but we conceded one stupid mistake, and that cost us when we go into the second leg. Because in the second leg we weren't able to capitalize. I mean, first leg, to be honest with you, Ray, I watched, and at halftime the score should have been 4-0. It should have been dead and buried. Same like this game.
Yeah, same like this game.
Same like this.
Yeah.
Exactly the same like this. Only that we fell asleep in the last few minutes of the game, and I think it was Griezmann. Griezmann managed to put it in the back of the net. It was the long ball that played over the top. That's why we were complaining in the first few episodes of our show. If our subscribers don't know, we were basically discussing also like what are some of our weaknesses, and teams take advantage of the fact that you can play last season one ball over the top, and our whole defense is wide open, like I don't know how to explain it, like wide open to be exploited.
Yeah,
that's what happened first leg. We couldn't take advantage in the second leg because I think they were already 1 goal up and away goal, and we ended up losing the tie and not going through.
Yeah, one qualification from London Old School. He says that Atletico are a much stronger outfit than Napoli. So a lot of things are in our favor this year. Atletico, dangerous team, and we did kill them. We ran them off the park. We got that 1 goal. We should have got more goals. Went to 5 minutes from the end, a long clearance, and Koscielny, we still don't know what he was doing.
We still
don't know. Griezmann will kill you. Griezmann will kill you in those situations, and that's what he did. And
why wouldn't Arsenal see that they need to sign class players? But that's just because we're not in the Champions League. We can't attract the likes of a Griezmann, of a Lewandowski.
Yeah.
these things don't become realistic to us. Now, the more realistic options is to go with players from the Europa League or players from championship teams that we could develop into top talents. I really think, honestly, would have loved Rob Holding around right now.
Yeah. I think we do need a centre back to go and buy, but Rob Holding should be one of four of our centre backs for next season. He's done some good things. London Old School. You can also see Gundit News on International Gooners AFTV. Also, Mahir puts his videos out there as well as me for AFTV, and yeah, but
international reactions. I would suggest that the subscribe to see that as well because it's quite interesting to hear the viewpoints of everybody, and it's more of it around a minute, but you hear our thoughts on the game and how the players performed, and yeah, you guys should check that out as well.
You realize how many Gooners there are around the world as well. What was the atmosphere in Madrid for that second leg last year? Very intimidating, right?
Yeah, more intimidating. How would you say?
Would you say it was more intimidating than it will be in Naples on Thursday?
I'll tell you that now because the Italian teams seem to be, Italian teams, Russian teams, when you're traveling out to these European countries, are more hostile because they have ultra groups. Atletico Madrid is more of a passionate side that show their support through passion. So basically, the whole stadium is rocking with support for their team.
When it
comes to other teams like the Russian teams, they've got a lot of ultra groups. Like the whole stadium is basically that they want to make it known. Listen, you can't come here and expect to get anything at all. Not a goal, nothing.
Right. London Old School said Napoli will be more intimidating by far. So both of you, Gundit News and London Old School, I'm going to make a statement. We're going to know a lot more about the mentality of our players when we talk next weekend.
Yes, but hopefully by then we'll be smiling. Like, I'm saying, guys, we're through to the semi-final. Can you believe it? One step closer in order to win our first European Cup in Lord knows how long. But yeah, man, it's really exciting times coming ahead. And we first have to deal with Watford tomorrow at Vicarage.
And my here, London Old School and I remember in 1994. I believe in talking previous weeks, London Old School was at the game in Copenhagen in 1994. You were not around, or either very young or not around.
I was like, we keep going in the yard and
yeah.
dream about the best players in the world, but we didn't attach to a club.
Alan Smith, great volley. What would winning the Europa League mean to you as a younger generation Arsenal fan?
It'd be fantastic. Honestly, I mean, I haven't seen. I've seen a final. I've seen us lose a heartbreaking final years. I was still young, like I said, I wasn't attached, but it would mean the world to me. That to see us win to see myself personally, our team in a cup, a European cup, not just any cup, but a European cup. Not saying that, not just got FA Cups, the likes of a Community Shield, etc., but it would mean the world. I'm sure it would mean the world to a lot of companies right around the world.
You're right, for sure. It would mean the same thing for all of us, and we have not won a European trophy in 25 years. As James said before in an interview, imagine what technology was like in 1994, and things have advanced in a quarter of a century. But to
You know,
see,
now we can talk. Now we can talk and interact with each other
yeah,
about the feelings. We can feel even about how we're feeling when there's a poor performance, when there's fight, when there's no fight. Basically, players that you could see that are dead wood. Like we can communicate more and get the message out to more corners around the world this way through these platforms.
which is a good thing and the bad thing, right?
Which is a good thing and a bad thing,
Yeah.
but more a good thing because, like like with us, running old school, Noe, Richard, absolutely, everybody on the James, everybody that's tuning into our podcast, basically, we have a chance to have our say, basically, which is brilliant. I find it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Anybody is watching this on playback after this is published, drop a comment down there. Let me know that you watched it, that you enjoyed it. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you like to, if you're new to the channel. Great. London Old School, you've converted a few ties to the religion. Is the religion Arsenal Fan Circle by any chance?
You know what? And to be honest with you, I'm saying
That's great.
Also, Arsenal is a very multicultural club. If you go to the Emirates, there's Muslims, there's Christians, there's blacks, there's whites, there's Asians, there's absolutely all ethnicities right around the board. And I mean, we're not even against each other. We're all united, and to see our team do well, it brings us even closer. We're like brothers, basically, in this. We're in this thing together through losses.
Well, we all love the club, Mahir. We all love the club, but we all have different opinions of who should be playing. Certain players divide the club, divide opinion. Some people don't like Iwobi. There's not enough end product. Some people don't like Ozil. He's getting paid too much. This is an issue that goes on. It will go on and on because of the internet, and we're so quick to judge things.
Regardless of whether we judge them or not, or whether they stay or whether they leave us, we'll always remain corners throughout our whole lives, and we'll pass it on to even the younger generations, our kids. Our kids are going to grow up and be reading and talking about new players, and hopefully even carry on. Even if we do at one point decide to stop the podcast, our kids will be carrying on because they'll have the same amount of passion that we have for the club.
Yeah. I've seen on TV watching the Liverpool Everton game, they said today was Jurgen Klopp's 200th game. Where do you think we will be when we have Emery's 200th game?
Realistically, I know we have to give Emery time as our coach.
Well, Klopp has had probably 160 games more right now, so we do have to give him time.
But that's why Emery is so underrated. If he can think of a European club and us get back into Champions League this season, surely, like we said, he should be getting manager of the year, because with the amount of problems defensively and injuries and having to make do with what he's got, he's really performed. He's really performed miracles, and I don't agree with people like Claude who come on AFTV and say, why should it have to be a miracle? It's a miracle. He's inherited a group literally of Wenger's players, and he only got one transfer window, brought in a few quality players, and we're starting to see who the deadwood is, who we need to shift out, who we can bring in order. I think within the next year, give him another season, should be back competing for a league.
I happen to think that he has performed miracles, and people have their opinions and they have different ideas. They're free to express their opinions on what
No
constitutes
doubt, no doubt.
what constitutes a miracle, and to applaud a miracle is winning the league this year with that Arsenal team, which is just not realistic in many people's eyes. And we prefer, the vast majority of Arsenal supporters tend to constitute or term a miracle as what he's doing right now, getting the absolute most out of this team. I don't actually believe that people, Gunners will say, if Ozil had been in the team for the whole season, we would have gotten more points. I don't actually believe that. I think Emery has done a great job this year. He was hired, I think, to get us into the Champions League, and being very efficient in the Europa League and knowing all about that competition. He's doing it's what's advertised on the can. That's what he is. You know what I mean? And
Yes, he was good in the leadership, but that's why I don't agree with people who say, you know what, that's why I don't agree with what Claude was saying, because basically Claude was being a little bit too negative. He was saying, no, Emery's not the right man for the job. We need a new. He was saying these things not too long ago, and I was like, why would you think that it's not a miracle? Look at our defense.
yeah,
Look at the amount of injuries that we've had
yeah,
throughout the season, and having to make do with the likes of, like a Mustafi and El Neni, and to advance in
yeah.
all these competitions, advance in the Europa League,
I would like
and
to.
to get as far as we've gotten, and the fact that right now it's still the fight is on for top four. It's really,
Yeah, I would like to probably check up on some math earlier in the season, up until Welbeck got injured, how many goals we were scoring per game, and if we've missed Welbeck in that respect. I suspect our
to be honest
goals
with you,
may have slowed down. What do you think?
yeah, okay, our goals may have slowed down. You're actually 100% right there.
Because of Welbeck
Because
and the strikers having to play full minutes, then
yeah,
But
I mean, because if you've got a third choice, so say for instance you don't want to put Aubameyang, you want to put Aubameyang, or you don't agree with putting both of our strikers on from the get go and having all that firepower, at least having an option on the bench. Danny Welbeck was scoring some important goals for us early on in the season. For example, in that run before he got injured,
in the group
he was
stages as
scoring
well.
some vital goals.
Yeah.
Some vital goals.
Maybe food for thought for a video for me to do during the week. Couple of comments from London Old School. Thanks for bringing them, London. He thinks Emery will do well with time and money to spend. And listen, even if we don't qualify, he's done well. We didn't think we would get top four this season. And finally, we've missed Welbeck off the bench, and Welbeck was also getting the odd assist. So all good points. It would just be really disappointing if we didn't get top four now with 6 games to go in the season. And I know a lot of supporters would take it out of context and use it as a rod to beat him with. You know what I mean, Gundit?
I know exactly what you mean. We do tend to go overboard. Like I said, especially at the AFL club, we don't want to see them losing to the likes of a Fulham, a West Ham, whose best hopes of doing anything is basically trying to get into that 6th or 7th position, if I'm not mistaken, for Europa League.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times they just end up, the mid-table teams, like we call them. No disrespect to those teams, but I'm just saying they're basically called mid-table teams by everybody. Yeah. Like we know where they're going to end up, where they have their peaks, their ups and downs, and occasionally we'll even have a shock against, like you've seen, Southampton, West Ham.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Premier League is very difficult. You go to Manchester City, you go to Crystal Palace. They had to do their job properly to get a win today. It's not easy. And when Crystal Palace come to the Emirates, we're going to have to be on our job as well. And tomorrow versus Watford, I do hope we go strong. I do hope that we can get a win there. It would reestablish some confidence that I was hoping that we would have reestablished by now in our away game.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to go the old guns blazing. Otherwise, it's not gonna work out, and then
Because
we're just
we
going to basically have one chance to get into that Champions League through beating Napoli or
and
throwing the Napoli
yeah,
away.
in the Europa League, we're going to have to play twice away from home, and then we play in Baku if we get there to in the final. I believe that's at the end of May. End of May, you know. But
Yeah,
it's all interesting stuff. And yes, Emery should get the credit deserved, even now, even if things don't go right at the end of this season, with 6 games left in the league and hopefully 4 more games in the Europa League. So we've got possibly a maximum of 10 more games to talk about, and 2 of them we'll be talking about next weekend.
yeah, yeah. Oof. But let's pray for some. Let's see what happens tomorrow, and then from there we go on to the Napoli game, second leg away from home.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, very possible that we can get 2 wins. Like, I'm fully confident that we're actually going to go tomorrow to Watford, even if it means grinding out a 2-1 result, as per your prediction, and as per a lot of people's prediction. I will also go with the 2-1 result, but I would love a 2-0.
I haven't predicted 2-1 yet, but
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Okay, I had recently 2-1, but
I
that's 1-1
listen.
for you, basically.
Listen, I put my neck on the line. I said I think we're going to win 3 games away from home. Now we have 4 games away from home. We have to win 3 of those. You know,
Yeah.
so I've definitely put my neck on the line there. I think we will win 5 more games this season. And I'm looking at 78 points, but I think we can get in with 76. You know, London Old School says a very important game tomorrow. To see our season in the league is dependent on it. Do you think it will just affect our league if we lose tomorrow, or will it affect our Europa League hopes as well?
If we lose tomorrow, we're gonna lose morale. Basically, we're gonna lose that drive. Like, when you lose anything, if you lose a game, one game doesn't matter what game it is. It can be happening in a very vital part of the season. And like right now, if we lose, we're gonna lose morale. So if we lose tomorrow, we're gonna lose that drive, man. And I'm just afraid that it might be a little bit dangerous because we might drop our heads and then think, oh, okay, let's just go to Naples, and then they might be up for it. And if they beat us, whatever the score may be, and we don't go through, and we've lost to Watford, that's going to be very, I think it's going to be very damaging.
Yeah. London Old School predicts a 3-2 win for Arsenal, but also says it could be either a good week or a very disappointing week. So, let's talk about Watford. What kind of mentality, just before we sign off for this show, what kind of mentality do you think Watford will bring with an FA Cup on the horizon?
Well, they will European place, and they are going to play against City in the final, of I think the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll come in with an attitude. Anything is possible, basically. Troy Deeney is going to be up for it because he has said. Somebody asked him, I think it was Troop, somebody asked him if it's possible for you to go easy on us since you're going to be in the final, and he said, absolutely not. You absolutely not. They're going to give their 200% tomorrow. So it just depends what Arsenal is going to show up. Is it our beloved home Arsenal, or is it the disappointing, tragic, heartbreaking, no effort, no passion, no fight?
I personally wish the troops would not stir that hornet's nest, you know. But
you can't really ask an opposition player seriously on
yeah,
account
no,
go easy on you
no.
because you already know what the answer is going to be. You already know before you ask.
You're a professional player. I think he's the captain. He's held in high esteem at Watford, and okay, he boasted a little bit a few seasons, but we put it right last season. um, at home and this season at home. We have to come back and win this battle away from home at Watford. And London Old School says they will be up for a battle. So
Yes. But hopefully our players will be up for a fight because
yeah,
I do not want to see any away performance like I've seen in the past. How many away performances we really managed to get it off? Like like a lot of us would think, and a lot of rival fans would think, how did they get away with that? You know, like Man United yesterday, for example.
yeah.
How did they get away with that? Like, how did they get so lucky?
The first penalty was so soft. I actually did not think that he caught him in any way, and the pundits do try to justify what the referees are giving these days, and VAR is.
Because there are certain teams that they favor and certain teams that they love.
Mhm.
And I don't think, and I personally, I don't think, I'm sure you guys all think the same. Arsenal is not one of those teams. Definitely not one of those teams.
No.
Because we say that even after a win, like, you know what, these guys were just lucky. They managed to get something of some sort, but really there are no quality players. And then they go on to Ozil, and then they go on to Mustafi, and then they go on to Al-Neni, then they go on to slating the bigger players like a Mkhitaryan, a Lacazette, Aubameyang. Because the other day they were saying even Aubameyang and Lacazette had a poor game. I was like, yes, but to be honest with you, there's no service having that midfield to a duo of a very young guy who's only 19 and no leader next to him who just he's basically a stopgap. He's a closer, like you said.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, London Old School and Gundit, we're gonna make it to 90 minutes here. Is this a theme that's gonna run every week? I would not mind doing 90 minutes every week. It's kind of a funny thing that we do every week. 90 minutes of Arsenal Fan Circle, and we love everybody. We love your participation. Let's give a shout out to Noe if he's watching on playback. Hey Noe, you missed a good show, Noe. London Old School misses his old buddy in the comments section down there. Hey Noe, I'm going to send you a reply, Noe. I hope you had a good excuse for not being here. We do love our regulars. London Old School, the refs love Man United and the scum. I think I've asked this question before. Let's say we get third place. Who do we want to get fourth place? Tottenham or Manchester United? Well, you gotta give me an answer, my co-host. I would like to see. I know, but Manchester United are really bad in the Champions League. I'd like to see Manchester United get fourth because I think, like a London Old School said, Manchester United as well. Because then we will see Europa League football at Shide Hart Lane.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
So I'll have to go with you guys on that one as well. But just know that I don't care, guys. I really honestly couldn't care. As long as we make Champions League, I could honestly care less.
Yeah.
If United ended up in Europa, which would make me so happy. Or whether our worst rivals end up in Europa, which would make me even happier.
We hate Tottenham. We hate Tottenham. We hate Tottenham. We hate Tottenham. We do not want the. We don't want the scum in the Champions League, for sure.
Imagine that they play Europa League. They get promoted to play Europa League in their new stadium.
In their new stadium, that would be amazing. Amazing.
Wow.
Harry Kane is injured out for the rest of the season. They have
I don't
to.
think that'll affect them as much.
Really? Because I was thinking they have to drop some points because of that.
I
Right?
think they will, but I think they will. but it depends on Son's form. Maybe Son, because he scored
Wow.
vital. Like I'm saying, like Danny scored vital goals before he got injured.
Yeah.
Son, I mean, just scored versus Man City. That chance was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like I literally saw him. I was thinking, okay, that ball is going out to the goal kick, but he managed to somehow wriggle his way through like a snake and put the ball in the back of the net. I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Listen, I think we made it to 90 minutes. We don't need to do any extra time. London Old School said they owe a lot of money on that toilet bowl. And we won't be buying, they won't be buying for a long time, only selling. Let's talk a little bit about, I agree with all of that, London Old School. It does look like a toilet bowl. They copied our stadium for the shape of the seating. It's a horrible color. There's no color to it. It's drab. It's boring. So here's what I think how the season finishes. We get 76 or 78 points in the league. I'm hoping we win the Europa League. Emery has achieved, probably overachieved, if we're being honest, from what we thought at the start of the season. We go into the Champions League, and that means we have to have a big summer in terms of transfers. Right, Gundit?
Hopefully about 7 players coming in.
Yeah.
And about 4 or 5 moving out. It would.
And London Old School said it's the same architect for the that built that stadium. They just copied us. They've got no trophy cabinet though. You know. Yeah. Listen, we need to recruit decent players with a mentality who can win away from home. We need to get rid of the players who are not good enough, and we all know who the players are right now. We don't need to go over and over, and we'll have plenty of summer to talk about that. But it's going to be tough next season. What is our expectations for next season if all of that is as I said it? We get into the Champions League, we win the Europa League. Our profile is high. We do get some decent players. What are we expecting for next year?
Next year, let's try and get close to
City.
Like that third spot we should go above that. We should go to a second. Try and get as far as we can in the Champions League. I would say maybe like a quarter. I would love a quarter final, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like we did back in the Wenger years, consistently.
Back in the Wenger years, yeah, exactly. But I mean, over the past few years, we've been getting knocked out at the knockout stages. So I would say maybe a second place, or even a third again, but to fight in the Champions League to get past the knockout rounds, maybe to quarterfinals.
Okay. I mean, that's best case scenario. I actually think that, this season's gone so well that we have to give him 2 more seasons, sign him up for an extra year, but understand that maybe next year might be difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult, no doubt about that. That's why I say give him as much time as possible. I try not to set any expectations. So if you don't set any expectation, you're not as heartbroken and you're not as disappointed, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Hey, I know Mahir's not into Game of Thrones. London Old School, are you? Is that something you follow, Game of Thrones, or you're one of those that do not watch that stuff? Game of Thrones is back today. But London Old School said Mahir is not a Game of Thrones person, right?
Unfortunately, I'm not a Game of Thrones person. I did watch the first season, and after the first season, I kind of lost interest, man, because there's so much happening. You need to be up to date on exactly who's
There is so much. It's a great show. London Old School loves it. So thumbs up for me, London Old School.
Thumbs try somehow. I get bogged down into a lot of quick action programs.
Yeah, superhero movies, Marvel, all that stuff, right? That's for you.
The Arrow, the Flash, a lot of DC stuff, a lot of Marvel stuff. Because
Yeah.
I literally grew up reading comic books, and I find it easier to follow a story that way, especially when they come up with series on TV, like in front of you to follow a story.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones it's very intricate. You have to know, like I say, you have to know exactly what's going on.
You have to.
You can get lost within one episode. You'll be lost completely.
Well, it's like if you were to liken it to the Premier League, and actually, I know maybe London Old School might know this because he's watched every episode. If you look at the map, London Old School, the Game of Thrones map, it's actually upside down to, I think, the England and Ireland together, the UK and Ireland together. The map is very similar, and if you liken it to the English Premier League, we are like the Southerners, and you have to go north of the wall to meet up with the Wildlings, and the Wildlings are Newcastle, Liverpool, all those difficult away days north of the border. Let's say, you'd have to watch it, my here, to know what we're talking about. You'd have to.
Because that's actually that's brilliant if you're actually trying to, or if you looking at the shape of, like I know Westeros and etc.
You see, you do know Westeros and all that, yeah. Yeah, check.
like little bits, because I mean, like I say, I watched the first season and I found that really interesting. And then after that, I don't know what happened. I just didn't watch Game of Thrones, and I think I was watching Breaking Bad, if I'm not mistaken.
Breaking Bad is a great show. London Osco said that makes sense. Newcastle, Wildlings, LOL. So the Wildlings are kind of the Wildlings are exactly what you would think. They are pretty wild and primitive, let's say. But no disrespect to Newcastle. Yeah. Yeah. And we have to fill it out to 90 minutes plus stoppage time. So we're right about there right now. I have a Game of Thrones shirt, but I'm not wearing it. I'm wearing Star Wars right now because the trailer came out for Star Wars. The last episode's coming out in December. But definitely psyched for Game of Thrones. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it tonight, London Old School. So no spoilers next episode of Arsenal Fan Circle. No spoilers. Well, London Old School, you don't tell me what happened next weekend, okay? Hey, but thanks for coming on, London Old School. Anyone who's watching us on playback, check out our previous episodes. We had Richard from Arsenal TV on. We have my brother, Mahir Abrams from Gundit News on Facebook. Check him out. Wow. And London Old School says Game of Thrones is on at 8 a.m. So what's the plan, London? Are you going to get some sleep for 3 or 4 hours? And then check it out, or will you check it out later? Come on, you Gunners. London Old School. We need a win tomorrow. I think a win tomorrow is vital. What do you think, Gundit? Mm-hmm. All right, London Old School. Yep. London Old School is going to take 3 or 4 hours sleep right now and watch Game of Thrones when he gets up at 8 a.m. there. Dedication. I love it. But that's how good the show is, Mahir. Hey, who's taking that ice bucket challenge? Yeah. So the odds are in favor of City right now. Yeah. Well, yeah. No, we have documented. Documented. Um, have it documented. You can't go back. All right, London Old School, thanks for coming on. We do appreciate you. We'll see you next weekend. And we are out of here. Have the last word, Gundit.
Okay, yeah, guys, I just want to thank you for tuning in, for tuning in live to the show, whether you're watching the rerun of the show. And big thanks coming from my brother, Raymond Walker, and myself, your co-host, Gundit News. And we will see you hopefully next week with great big smiles, great big enthusiasm for the game tomorrow, and quite excited to see what happens. But I believe we will win both games, even if it's by the skin of our teeth, by have a good night, everybody.
By means necessary. We are out of here. Thank you, Gundit News. Thank you, London Old School. And enjoy Game of Thrones and enjoy the game tomorrow. Here's to a win tomorrow, okay? Bye, everybody.